Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
I
people.
know. I said we weren't going to be here, and yet here we are. It has been a week. So I think most of you know that my little cold last week was not a cold after all. And I ended up pretty sick. Let me see if I can get up here. Whoops, lost my comments. There's my comments again. So I know we had said that we weren't going to do tonight because I was going to be doing the craft fair and I'd be right in the middle of tearing down. And then I got sick. And so, of course, canceled the craft fair. Well, I didn't cancel the craft fair. I just didn't go to the craft fair. The craft fair went on without me. Hello, Miss Sue. And so I was sick all week. Just started feeling better about Friday. And still have the cough. But even it is not near, today isn't nearly as bad as yesterday was.
Yeah.
Yesterday and the day before. Hello, Miss Pinky. I'm so glad you joined us. So, yeah, yesterday and the day before, I couldn't have talked at all without coughing. So I knew by Thursday, hi, Mandy. I knew by Thursday I was going to have to cancel me going to the craft fair. And, but my partners was still there, the gal who does the cookies and the hand dipped chocolates. And I haven't touched base with her yet, but I'll give her a chance to get home and see how she's doing. And I'm sure she did quite well.
Yes.
So she doesn't care if I was there or not. But yeah,
I'm sure she would have liked the company.
We all survived. Morgan's back at work. And I'm much better. I couldn't have even talked this much a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Still have a little bit of a cough, but it's not nearly what it was. Not nearly what it was.
We've had quite a run of it as well. I had hubby in emergency department for 36 hours. He was there before they transferred him 100 miles away to another hospital. The doctor was quite unprofessional in a couple of ways, which just added to the stress. Had his surgery done. Then I had to drive 100 miles to bring him home because I'll take you there, but they won't bring you back. And so that didn't take me long to get there, but it took a long time to get back because I was trying to take the smoothest roads we possibly could because of his surgery, and even that wasn't great. No. And he's slowly been getting better. It's been taking a while. It's been a week now since he's been home. But I guess age-wise, because, in the past, from this sort of surgery, keyhole surgery, you'd bounce back. He's not bouncing so much these days. So that's been a bit of a worry.
They call it keyhole surgery. That's cute. I like that.
Yeah, laparoscopic surgery.
I like that, keyhole surgery. I'm going to have to try to remember that. I like that. I like that terminology. That's cute. Hello, Miss Bridget.
Hi, Bridget. So then, yes, this morning I had to dash into the doctor's myself just for a quick test because I thought I had a UTI.
Oh, no.
It's been like that, and I thought, I think I've been ignoring it while Steve's been sick. Everything's clear, so now they have to send that off to pathology and all that sort of thing. So but at least I made it back for this because it's been way too long seeing you guys.
I know. We always miss you so much. So Pinky, I've been not looking at any, but I know. Imagine if it was a cesarean. I haven't been looking at anybody's videos. I've been too tired. Couldn't even concentrate. I know the other day Morgan came out and she's like, "Where's Robin?" And it was 7:30 and I had gone to bed and I slept until 7:30 the next morning. So I slept for 12 hours straight. But boy, I'll tell you what, I got a lot of sleep last week, which I think I really needed, and did not accomplish much of anything. So I kept thinking, oh, all these days I have wasted doing nothing. But apparently just resting and recuperating is something.
It is. It
And
takes
it
a
was,
lot of energy to rest and
yeah,
recuperate
it was
sometimes.
greatly needed because
Yeah.
my brain was just, I couldn't concentrate on anything.
Yes.
Ugh.
I've had very broken sleep because we'll go to bed and then about 10 minutes later, Steve would start coughing and choking and then just throwing up like
Oh,
saliva. Yes. And we'd get him all settled again. And then about another 15 minutes later, and he said, I'm going to sleep on the lounge. I said, You're not sleeping on the lounge. He said, It's actually more comfortable than the bed because he can put his legs
yeah,
up in a different
upright.
position
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. Mr.
And
sleeps most nights out here in the recliner.
yeah. And so, yeah, he'd do that till about 5:30 in the morning, and then we'd change over. And oh, it's been exhausting. But fortunately, I haven't been sick, so I'm the
Yeah.
carer.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when will you hear back on those tests?
I'm going in again on Thursday.
Okay.
But the urine test that she did there came back negative. So the doctor who popped in for just a second, because otherwise it would have been a consult that I hadn't booked for because they don't. I think I can make an appointment for February, which might be a bit too late. And he said, look, we're just going to send that off to pathology, give it a couple of days and come back. So that's what I'll do. And just see the nurse, because otherwise I would need an appointment to see
Yeah.
him.
Which,
It's
of
just
course, you can't
crazy.
do.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
It's
Lord.
shocking.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you got your square done, Pinky. And that, you guys, it was our
Oh,
last square.
Robin's a bit of an overachiever here, guys.
No, Robin was, I couldn't work on anything that I had to concentrate on. I couldn't, I have finished my elfin squares, and that's kind of my mindless activity, which, by the way, there's still a couple spaces available if anybody wants to do the elfin squares. And she is sweetening the pot. She's doing a giveaway. And I can't remember the details because, my brain's only half there right now. Hello, Mr.
Hi,
Steve.
Steve.
So, but if you want to participate, and if you get your squares sewn together and send her a picture by, I think it's the 1st, you'll have to watch her video to get the details, but it's like midnight on December 31st. The first 2 people to get pictures to her are going to get a Amazon gift cards. So she's sweetening the pot there a little bit. But
Nice.
so my elfin squares were done, and I couldn't work on the baby blanket because you have to count. You have to pay attention. You have to count. And I had finished my block for that, and for this blanket, and they were all blocked out, and I didn't have anything I could work on. That it had to be completely mindless. I mean, completely mindless. So I thought, well, I'm going to try and put this thing together. So I laid him out on the bed, and the cat got right in the middle of it, and she would help me. And I thought, okay, this isn't bad. And I rearranged them, and I got him looking the way I wanted. And, the colors were all in the nice diagonal stripe. And so I picked up one row and brought it out here. And I couldn't remember what I was doing. So I took it back in there and laid it out, and I pinned them together, pinned the rows together, 2 rows. And I folded them, and I brought them out here, and I sewed and sewed and sewed, and I lifted it up, and they were sideways. They weren't the right direction. So I had to unsew them, and I took them back in there, and I laid them out again. And I brought them in here, and I sewed a row together, and I sewed a second row together, and I picked it up, and I had messed it up again. And I'm like, how can you mess up sewing a row together? Well, somehow I did one this way and one that way, and I got my blocks switched. So I unsewed it again, took it back in there. And Deb kept saying, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, it's obviously not the mindless activity you thought it was.
Correct. So I waited a couple hours. And then all of a sudden, it was just like this fog just lifted from my brain. I just started feeling better. It was really weird. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I can do this. So I went in there and I pinned every single block in the entire blanket all together, every direction, every which way. And I started sewing it together. And there was a couple times I may have flipped front to back, but then I thought, no, because my colors are right. So they got to be right. And I wish I should have pinned them at the corner instead of sides and tops. Then I think it would have been even better. But I sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed. And then I sewed this way and I sewed that way and I sewed that way.
And it's done.
And it's done. It's ugly, but it's done. Ta-da-da! The ugliest blanket in the world.
Don't you guys have ugly sweater competitions, or is that the UK?
No, we do that too.
Yeah. You can just wrap it around yourself if that's how you feel about it. Put a tinsel star on it.
Yeah. It is done. I've got my border on it. I've got, whoops, I just found an end. I have all my ends except apparently this one are sewn in. And there we have it, the ugliest blanket in the world.
But they're the ones that you end up loving because there's just something about them. I don't know what it is. My sister has a couple that an elderly neighbour gave to her. And they're my favourites. Whenever I go to my sister's, it's like, I want that one that Elsa knitted. And she goes, that one? I go, yep, that one. Because you know that there was love that went into it anyway, even if the colours don't look fantastic.
Well, I actually like the colours, surprisingly.
Yeah, well,
boy, you can sure tell tell these blocks don't go together appropriately, you know, that they don't fit. But who cares?
Well, who cares?
It's warm, I'll tell you that. It is nice and warm. And it's the funniest thing. I had this at the shop yesterday, and I laid it out, and I was showing somebody the ugliest blanket in the world. It definitely has personality. And I was saying, I said, there's mistakes in every single block. And I'm like, here's the mistake in this one. And then I'm like, I can't find the mistake in that one. And I can't see the mistake in this one.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a mistake in this one. Oh, there's the mistake in that one.
We're our own worst judges when it comes to our crafts at times.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty darn happy. But I knew if I didn't get this thing done, it wasn't going to happen. So this, it's definitely a misfit blanket. It is done and done. And I'm probably going to I was just telling him I'm probably going to put it in the car because I need a good blanket for in the car. And I'm so happy that it's finished. And I am so happy that it is put together. Because I know me. You guys, I know me. And some of these blocks I really like. I still really like this one.
I haven't put borders on a lot of mine because I was making it bigger. But I was cleaning out the other room where I've just got junk and came across some swatches that I'd made, and I'd made a swatch in the color that I'm making the blanket. So I'm actually going to add it, and it's a cable one.
Ooh.
And it's about the right size.
I'm going to make you big so we can see that. Oh, look at that.
So that's going to be one of my squares. I think I might try and put it right dead center because it's the only cable one that I've got. But apart from that, I was just making stocking stitch ones to fill it out so that it would have ended up being a 6x7.
I'm surprised. I did 5 rows of 6 or 6 rows of 5, something like that.
Yeah.
And it really turned out a nice size. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a substantial. I mean, I can cover my whole body up with this thing and just be all nice and snuggly.
Yes. Well, I was doing mine in a DK using a
Oh,
four
that's right.
millimeter
That's right.
needle. So mine are small. Mine are only 5.5 inches. And I think with the border, they're about 6.5.
Yeah.
They'll probably work out to be about 7. But the place that I knit for, their adult blankets are 120 centimeters by 160 centimeters. So I needed the extra ones to get it up to
Yeah.
size. It will get done.
These ended up almost 10 by 10 after the borders.
Yes.
Oh.
I love doing cables as well.
Yeah,
And
I
Sue,
knew you did.
congratulations on your blackout win in bingo.
Yeah,
I did see that. Yeah.
so much fun. We had a lot of
Yes.
fun at bingo the other night.
Yeah.
I saw a few new people had number. Hello, Miss Susan. I saw a few
Hi,
new people had
Susan.
numbers this week. Or I just noticed today. I didn't look at anything last week. I didn't look at anything.
It's been so long since I've been on that I don't know if I was telling you that I was making a tam or duping a tam hat for my cousin whose grandmother bought her one like 20 years ago, and hers is looking really ratty now. So she sent it to me and said, "Can you duplicate this?" And so I did, but it kind of turned out really small. It was really,
Oh, it
really
is a
small.
little small. It's
So
beautiful.
I did it
Though.
bigger. And yeah, so now I have the one that I sent her, which was a different color than this one. I'm not doing it much justice holding it up like that. Right. And now I have a mother and toddler one that will go together because they're the
That's
same
really
one.
nice.
Yeah. But it turned out really nice. And beanies don't suit me. That sort of hat doesn't suit me. But this one's not too bad. I tried it on. And
Oh,
well,
that's so cute. That looks very cute.
yeah, I actually don't mind that when I've got a mirror to adjust it properly. I look a bit like Frank Spencer from Some Mothers Do Have Him at the moment. But yeah, it worked out really well. So that's one of the projects that I was doing. And I wrote down the pattern so that I could duplicate it again in another 20 years' time when it wears out. So that's one project that I was doing. And I was doing hats. I've got a stack of hats. I'm doing scarves now. So I think the last time I saw you, I was doing this one in the Premier Gradient.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve and a couple of others suggested that I go from light to dark. So it went from light to dark, and then the other side.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Back to the light. And that worked really well. I'm thankful for that suggestion. So that one, and it's really weird when you crochet or knit with this yarn because you know it's changing color, but while you're actually doing it, you don't notice that it's changing color, and you go, I've been crocheting for a while. Surely it's got to have changed color by now. And then you look back and, oh, yes, it's gone through about 3 color changes. It's
Isn't
just
that
so
fun?
subtle. And it's a nice soft one. And then the other one I was doing was a bod one, and I just grabbed some Hobie yarn, and it was this pattern, which I really quite like.
Oh, I love that stitch.
Yeah.
What is that?
I wrote it down. I think it's, no, I can't think. I've got it written down. And then at the end, she said to end on one of the straight rows, but I liked
I
the
like
fan
that.
row.
Uh-huh.
This way for you guys, the fan row. So I thought, how can I take that at the other end? So what I did was where I started, I joined the yarn again and then went the other way. So this was my original start, and it's made a circle in the middle.
Wow.
And then it goes to the other end, now has the thing as well. So this one turned out really well. I was so happy with that. I'm not usually very adventurous with crocheting. Knitting, yes. Crocheting, no. And I mean, it doesn't take much to think, oh, yes, if I just start at the other end and go down.
I would never have thought of it.
Yeah, it worked out really well. So that's another scarf. And now I'm working on a third scarf, everything but that blanket, because I'm not trying to avoid it or anything, putting it together. This one's in the teal. Which is the right side.
Ooh.
This is in the teal.
Ooh. Now, is that what do they call that? A waffle stitch? Nope, it isn't. That's pretty.
No, it's another bod one. It was a really simple one. I thought that's what I need at the moment, a really simple one that I don't have to think on. And it is. It's super simple. So that one. Yeah. So that's me trying to do. And would you believe I didn't take any of it to the hospital when I was at the hospital with Steve? Didn't take any of it. And I was there myself. I was there with him straight 24 hours. And I had an hour's sleep. And then the doctor said, well, we need to send him down to hospital a long way away. Do you think you could drive him? It's like, no, I've had an hour's sleep at most, broken sleep, sitting up in a chair. He has appendicitis. You've just told me. We're going down rough roads. What if something happens?
Mm-hmm.
So they transported him down via ambulance. But yeah, no knitting, no crocheting, nothing, because he was saying, I need to go to the hospital. We just got in the car and went, yeah. You can make me small again, Robin.
I thought maybe you had some more beautiful things to show us.
I don't think so. Except for these. No, no, that's about it. Scarves, just anything that was just, 1 or 2 row repeat that I didn't have to think about.
Yeah.
I do have another one, but it's out in the other room and it's nothing spectacular. It's a very busy yarn and you can't see the pattern. Yeah. So that's me. Me done. Don't fall asleep, Robin. I'll be flying solo.
I might. We're definitely going to keep it a little short tonight, shorter than normal.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Every day, I don't know about you guys. I'm a list maker. And I mean, you guys know this about me. And so every single day I start out, I look at my calendar, see what I check my calendar the night before, but I still see what everything I have to do today. And then I always have a list of all the things I want to accomplish. I got every single thing done on my list today, which was really weird. But part of it was because I knew I wanted to go visit my friend. And so I had to be ready for that. So I was like up and ready to go. And but yeah, I got every single thing done. I had to update the inventory for the shop after the Yarny Social. I had to update all my yarn inventory, and it's probably about 95% accurate, 97% accurate. Actually, it's more than that because it's just the DK that I'm like, okay, I wrote that down over here, but I've written it down over here. Did I write it twice or did I find 2 more skeins over here? I figure it's within about 10 skeins of yarn. Correct. So, yeah, it's.
I'm not a list person. I want to be, but I'm just not.
Oh,
and I'll make a list, but I'll cross it off. Not because I've done them, because it's like I can't be bothered doing that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I do that too. And then I've been working on.
Steve had a couple of things on a shopping list. I thought, I'm not taking the list. They just congregate at the bottom of my bag. So I took a picture of it. And the one thing that I had on the list for me was beetroot. Well, I got everything Steve wanted, got home, looked at the list. Oh, I forgot the beetroot. The one thing that I wanted, yes. And I was checking the list. So lists don't work for me at all.
Oh, I am a list maker, big time. And I think that's probably why I have so many different calendars, because they're basically great big lists. And
yes.
And I've been transferring everything to the new calendar. So I've got the list here and then an updated list over here. And I updated my ongoing yearly to-do list. And then you guys, Deb is getting to be as bad as Dana now. She's gotten, well, at the Yarny Social, she's not convinced me. She helped to encourage me to add 2 more things to my list. Exactly. And then today she sent me information about a crochet along. Like I've got time for that. But the thing is, one of the gals involved in it was the lady from the other yarn store that was there, and she's just the nicest lady. And I'm like, oh man, okay. So, because I really like her. Her name was Jennifer, and she was just a sweetheart. And she was a kick in the pants. She was funny. But I guess
that doesn't mean funny. The kick in the pants for us is for a lazy person. You give them a kick in the pants.
Both ways. It could be both ways. But in this
I've
way,
not heard it the other way.
But it officially starts in January. So, you know, that's months away. I got plenty of time.
Heaps of time to stress over it and fit it in and schedule it in.
So it's called the Rose City Yarn Crawl Mystery Crochet Along.
Oh, no. Sorry, just crossing that off my list.
So it's a shawl. And I'm just like,
no. I don't mind if things are ugly or not. If I choose to do it, I don't like doing mystery things and it turning out like, no, don't like it, especially if you're 2/3 the way through it and you go, no.
Well,
I usually don't get that far. It's usually after the first.
I thought maybe I could contact Miss Jennifer and get a little clue.
Yes.
If this is something I'd even like. But I have to, my recollection was the beginning of my year is super. I know I don't like mystery makes and I don't like triangle shawls. And that's why I do not want to do this if it's a triangle shawl.
Yes, I don't like mystery bags. I don't like mystery knit-alongs, mystery. I mean, you just replace the word mystery with misery, and that's exactly how I feel about it.
That's where it was, Amy. She said she saw it from Dana, which I was surprised Dana was pushing a mystery thingy after our last mystery adventure. That was my fault. But we couldn't find it. I didn't realize it was her community page. I'll have to go in there and look. Maybe she's got more info than what I have. But my recollection, without having actually looking at my calendar, is that I was very heavy with projects early in the year. And I know I'm not going to be able to finish a shawl in 6 weeks. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
I don't know even what.
Absolutely right, Steve. You can't do everything.
You cannot. And there's too many things I want to do without.
I mean, I know that you've got projects there, Robin, that were from the beginning of the year that you haven't touched with other things that have come
I haven't even touched them. And I keep reaching for my calendar, which is over there in my backpack. So it doesn't do me any good to open that calendar up.
I mean, plans change and things fall off your list and they, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Yes.
But I finally, for once, I almost feel like I need to start another project. I don't have enough things going right now.
I need to start a knit project. All my projects at the moment are crochet. And I've been finding that my hands are getting sore from the crocheting. And I find when I do knitting as well, then it's a different movement. So I need to.
Oh, we finally found a knitting teacher for the store. So we're going to start knitting lessons in December. So that's exciting.
Did you say that was a temporary trial period as well?
That's my feeling, because I don't really know much about this gal, except she said, I'll do it. And I said, done, hired. But she runs another knitting group, and I have seen some of the projects. I've seen the patterns of the project she's working on. I haven't actually seen one of her projects. And she may actually end up being too busy to do this. So I'm still going to be looking. There's a couple gals in one of the other knitting groups that, hey, Miss Linda, that I'm going to see if, because she only wants to teach like very, very beginning knitting. And so I want to check with this other gal and see if she'd be interested in doing like project class. Like, let's do socks.
A pair of socks.
Let's do this shawl. Let's do this whatever. So that would be a good blend.
Yes.
Because I know that other lady's abilities. So we'll see. Right now we're just scheduled for December. But I have somebody calling me at least once a week looking for knitting classes.
And there's nothing in your area?
Well, I just have very few. Very few. And
well, if you sponsor me, I can fly over and get my green card or whatever it is.
Yeah. You can fly in one every Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people don't mind paying $100 an hour, do they? Like,
I don't think so.
Require at least 10
they
people.
They do. Actually, people do pay that much.
Wow. In US dollars, Ben Franklin's or whatever they are, Benjamin Franklin. Are they the hundreds? Yes.
Yeah, I'm setting them up for $15 a lesson, which is very reasonable.
Very cheap. Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's exciting. So right now, and I found the instructions for his sock. So I've got the knit sock. I've got the knit hat, which I can probably work on this week because I think I'm feeling good enough to keep track of that.
How's the hat going?
It's about half done. Where is it? Should be in one.
Are you happy with how it's turning out?
Yeah. Yeah, really pleased. I tidied up my corner before I got sick, and now I can't find anything.
Yes.
Is this it? This might be it here. If only I had the peekaboo bag where I could see what was in my project bags.
Yeah. Do you know anyone who makes those? I've seen some floating around. I've got one, but I can't remember where. Yeah.
Nope, that's not it. I can't
remember where I got mine
that I need to make. Ooh, by the by, I told you I need a cowl pattern.
Yeah.
And actually, that second one you showed me made me think that would be the perfect cowl for what I want.
I don't remember.
Feel like I need to start. Yeah, you need to teleport. And now I need to. What am I looking for? What am I looking for?
Your hat.
The hat.
Your Alaska hat.
Oh, that's in here. Maybe I'm not completely all the way with it yet.
That's okay, Robin.
I think it's in here. Yes. Yes. In Miss Bridget's bag.
Nice.
Love this bag. Okay. I have not taken this out in a very long time. Probably about 3 weeks. Oh, I got gunk on it. You can tell it's mine. I got junk on it. So yeah, this is how long it is. So you can tell it's, I don't remember what row I'm on.
Was it the brim fold up? A fold up brim?
Yes. Yeah, fold up brim. So I don't want to mess up my needles. Well, I don't know how I managed to do that. But you can start to see the pattern. There we go. There you can see. Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Is the light mixing it up? Oh, yeah. Yes. There you go. Yeah, you can totally see it here now. So
that's coming along great.
Yeah, I am on row 24 of 46.
You're more than halfway.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't include that's just the design. That doesn't include the brim. So, and then once I get I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more rows of design, and then it's just straight rows of color. So that'll
you'll whip through that.
The color and the decrease for the crown. So that'll go super fast.
That will.
Maybe I'll take this with me to knitting group this week. No, I don't think I'm going to knitting group this week. I don't remember. I think I've got a class. I do. I have a class instead of knitting group. I have 2 classes this week. I have 2 classes this week plus our regular classes. I have a
You
class
have
on
two
Monday.
classes?
Yeah, I have two. I have a class on Monday and I have a class on Wednesday and then our regular Saturday class.
Right.
So maybe I shouldn't be doing anything where I have to count.
No.
Perhaps. Perhaps
No.
I'm not at a counting place yet. But this is coming along nicely. And then I have
It's looking
another
good.
one because I promised Morgan one as well. Morgan wants one as well. But I don't think the second one's going to take nearly as long. And I've got that. I've got the second sock. I have the baby blanket that I started that I really like. But again, that's a lot of counting. I really, really like the pattern. I like the design.
And which one was that again? The baby one?
It's using one of my kits. Yet another shocker.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
But it's just kind of a wave design, and it's no counting. So I've got about 6 or 8 rows done. And
yes, I've done a pattern like that. It's actually my thumbnail. I think my picture of on my channel.
Oh, fun! It's quite simple.
Yeah,
but you just got to make sure you've got those 9 stitches in each little. I'm going to call it a honeycomb in each little honeycomb. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. And even when I wasn't addle-pated, it was a couple times I had problems. So I just got to be really aware of that. And then I see Bod put up a pattern of a man's sweater. And I think it's that exact same design, but not changing.
Oh, the almond stitch.
Yeah.
The one in the almond stitch, yes.
Is that what it is?
There's a few patterns that look a bit like that. I've heard it called the lozenge stitch.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
I've got 2 cross stitch things going. What's in here? Oh, that's my cross stitch. And that ridiculous Christmas stocking that I refuse to work on. So really, I'm kind of short on projects right now. But Deb also sent me another link to something that I'm probably going to have to do. So we'll see how that goes.
I just bought some yarn. I'm decluttering at the moment, not destashing, decluttering, both the same thing. But I am working on a project that I was 2 skeins short. And the only place I could find it was Turkey. So I've got a thing coming out from Turkey that should be here tomorrow. That's Steve's blanket, is it?
Steve's blanket, yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I don't know that I could do that.
Speaking of counting and having to be on the ball.
That's a great job you've done there, Steve.
Unbelievable. Wow. So pretty. I love those colors. And then, wow. I mean, just even picking the colors I wouldn't be able to do. Super nice.
That's gorgeous. Yeah. Well done.
Very, very nice. So pretty. That is beautiful. Just beautiful. But yeah, so everything I've got going on right now is and then of course the wedding shawl, which is coming along beautifully. I'm so pleased with it. Oh, that's over there. I can't reach it. I'll show it to you next week. But it's about that wide right now. Yeah, maybe not that. Not like that. I'm on my 3rd repeat of,
And I think you said there were going to be 4 or 5, was it?
No, I think, didn't we decide we were going to do, it was going to be, I thought we decided 7.
7?
I think I needed 5 more.
You'll know once you get there.
Yeah. And, because it's kind of like this. And then when I kind of laid it out, like as if I had blocked it, and it was quite a bit larger. probably
Yeah.
another 2 inches larger. So it will definitely be bigger once it's blocked. And I'm going to put a little picot edge all around the cuff, because the cuff isn't exactly perfectly even. So
Yes.
I was looking at this has the baby blanket's got a picot edge on it. And I thought, oh, that's what I need on that scarf, on that shawl, a little picot edge on there.
Yes, and that will tie in with the delicateness of it as well,
That's
rather than just a straight cuff. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I thought. And surprisingly, that is something I can work on. That's probably my only like mindless project right now, because I don't have to count anything other than the stitches on the sleeve. I count every row on those because I'm gaining and losing some of those now and again. Even though even with a marker on there, I'm still struggling with that a little bit. But
I think the only thing on your Irish shawl that I had to count was the first row of the Irish stitch pattern.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
I just had to be more mindful of where I was.
Yeah, it's a little tricky finding where to put that first stitch for the to get the iris, because I've got to make sure they line up, and with the wrist being really tight.
Yes.
And just that's the only thing that I'm super careful of with each row. But so far it's working out just fine. I think it looks I just couldn't be more pleased with the way it's turning out. Cool. Yeah. Now if the thing just fits, it'll be fine. True. It'll be fine.
It's yarn that will stretch.
Yes. Yeah. There's going to have quite a bit of stretch to it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And even if she doesn't wrap all the way around, she can still do it put her across the front and then crisscross across the back.
Yes.
And then put the sleeves in. There's several ways she can wear it, and it'll be just fine.
Yes. It'll be good. So now that the anthology blanket is basically complete, are we going to continue these sessions?
I would like to continue. If you guys are interested, we can always adjust time. We can always adjust, what was I going to say? It doesn't have to be every week. It could be every other week. Opposite week of bingo, maybe something like that. But I don't mind keeping it up. I just basically a sit.
Yes, sit
and chat. That's all it has been for quite a while, anyway.
Yes, it has.
Fun projects and show off the new things. Oh my gosh!
Yes, I still haven't finished my shawl tutorial because I'm still looking at software. That desktop, when it just fried itself and I've got a new one, I am still sorting things out with that. And then this laptop that I'm on now, about a month later, mid-September, it started playing up, and my IT guy was on holidays for 3 weeks, and it's like, I have nothing. And looking for software because I lost all my software. It's all out of date now. I can't renew the licenses. So I'm looking for new software to do everything, absolutely everything, from the word processor to the video editing and all that sort of thing. So it might look like I'm doing nothing. And most of the time I am doing nothing. Because people getting sick and I have to look after them. But yes, it will come.
Well, and that's the other thing. You guys, I told you a few weeks ago, my friend whose daughter was very, very ill, and I asked you to pray for her, not to pray to get better because we knew that wasn't going to happen, but just to pray for them. And so the daughter, she passed away 2 weeks ago today. And so, of course, it's been very, very hard on her mom, who's one of my very best friends. And her daughter was 43. And she passed away from colon cancer. Friday, my friend was driving around, and noticed something odd about her eyes. And so she went to the emergency room. And now that they have diagnosed her with cancer. And it's inoperable. And today I was able to visit her for a few minutes. And she knows what's going on. She can talk and have a conversation and such. But I don't know if she's not understanding the medical end of it, or if she's forgetting what they have told her, because she can't answer questions about what's going on and why this is happening. And so I plan on spending, well, in fact, Steve, remember last week we talked about that I needed to go and sit with her and crochet for a while because she needed the company. And so I'm going to be spending as much time as possible with her.
Yeah.
And if that means letting this kind of stuff slide, then that's what we'll give.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We're just absolutely shocked. We're just absolutely in shock with this. Nobody anticipated it. She had symptoms, but the symptoms that she was losing weight. She had no appetite. She was lethargic. She wasn't sleeping well. Well, her daughter was dying. So everybody just chalked it up to that.
Yes.
And so anyway, she's still in hospital. She just found out yesterday what the diagnosis is. They're still doing tests to figure out how bad things are. They know they can't operate. They're talking about probably doing chemotherapy, and you know how hard that is. She's 75. She's very healthy other than that. You wouldn't know she was 75. But she lost her husband to cancer. She's lost her daughter to cancer. And now she's got cancer. And thankfully, her brother's driving up from California. And he's going to stay with her and help her out, which was so very helpful. We were very worried about that. And, as friends, we will all do every possible thing we can. But it's like one of those things where she doesn't think to ask us for stuff. And little things that... It's like her car's been parked at the hospital for 3 days. And it didn't occur to me to ask, is your car still there? Do you want me to drive your car home? And she wouldn't ask any of us to do it for her. So she may not remember.
She may not remember that it's still there.
Right.
Say she's having problems with her memory.
So we're trying to figure out everything we can possibly do to help her, to make things easier for her, to do what needs to be done, go feed the dogs and, make arrangements for appointments and take her wherever she needs to go and whatever she needs to eat. And because I don't know.
Does she live very far from you?
Yeah, but it's about an hour drive round trip, but I don't care.
Okay.
She's a block away from Hobby Lobby. So every time I go to Hobby Lobby, I stop in and visit her. But she's on the side of town that I used to live on.
Right.
But there's a group of about 5 of us that are very, very close. And she's our part of that friend group. She was one of the ones when we went to the Panama Canal last year. She was part of that group. I just can't believe. So bizarre. Absolutely. So bizarre. So anyway, I'm going to be spending as much time as possible with her. And didn't mean to bring this down. What is my first name? Or her first name? Her first name is Terry.
Terry.
We call her Mrs. Terry. Her and her husband had the same name, so we called them Mr. and Mrs. Terry.
I have friends whose both first names are Shannon. So the guy and the girl are both Shannon. They were thinking of calling their daughter Shannon. And I bit my tongue.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They ended up not doing that. But yes.
Yeah, I had to wait till I tested negative, and I did 2 negative tests. And then even that, I wouldn't go up there until I felt like my cough was better, and I wore a mask when I went up to the hospital. So
yes,
just making sure you guys know I'm taking precautions. I would not put her.
I wouldn't have thought that you wouldn't.
Wouldn't put her in danger.
No.
But I'm thinking about making her a pair of slippers for her little feet. So
nice and soft.
Soft and snugly warm. And that's something that I can make up pretty quick.
With the little rubber dots on the bottom, so they're non-slip?
She's got carpet everywhere in her house.
Okay.
And I don't know that she would be wearing like for chemo and stuff. I don't know. She might wear slippers during chemo. That might be really cozy for chemo. Yeah, I could do that. I could put dots on the bottom of them. Because you can buy those at the craft stores, I think.
Yes, you can.
Or the strips.
Yes.
Yeah,
Steve had to wear compression stockings for 5 days after his operation. Really? And they gave him a pair of bright orange socks with the non-slip stuff on the bottom. I think we've got like about 5 or 6 pairs of those now.
Yeah, I
like wearing them in my boots, the non-slip ones, because my boots are slightly too big. But they give me grip so that my foot doesn't slide around in it. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Or if we go to Sky Zone, well, I don't go to Sky Zone. My son used to go to Sky Zone. They get the pair of socks given to them there, so they didn't slip. And so I'll collect all of those, about 5 pairs now. They come in handy. So yes,
they do.
When I was looking after my dad before he passed away, he slipped and tripped because of socks on lino, and that's why I thought I'd mention if you're making slippers, they can be slippery on lino and tiles.
Yeah, she does. Her kitchen does have linoleum, and probably her bathroom. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, her bathroom does also. So yeah, that's a good idea. I can put those on there.
Especially when they start to get frail, their balance isn't so great either, and the smallest job can tip them over because they just don't correct properly.
Yeah, and I know after chemo, especially that day after, you can be very weak. Yeah.
And so are the other girls or ladies in your group also taking on some looking after and taking uniform?
We'll do absolutely anything.
Yeah. And it's good to share the load as well, so that's not a burden on any one of the people.
The one gal doesn't drive, and she's got MS, so it's tricky for her to do things. But she's also a very good cook, so she can cook up some meals, and then we can take them up to her. That kind of thing. Where I'm not the greatest cook, I can run errands till the cows come home, and I can sit with her at chemo. And to where the other friend wouldn't have the stamina to do that.
Yes.
The other one is still working.
Yes, it's good that you've got people that you can draw on. It's not just especially if her family isn't close, like you said, her brother is
dwindling down to nothing. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And her son's here, and he's very, very good, but he's got 2 severely disabled kids at home that his hands are full with that. And he's a single dad, and he's got 4 kids living with him, 2 of them that need almost 24-hour care, that she would be the one that would go over and help him, so that's going to be a hard shift for the family too, because they're always used to her being the one to help out with everything. And that's not going to be a thing. That is just a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking about that today when I was looking at her little feetsies in the hospital. I'm like, I'm making you a pair of slippers. She had her little ugly hospital socks on, and she likes slippers. Every year for Christmas, she always asks for slippers.
So you have a pattern that you'd like to use?
No, but I'll find something. There's 2 or 3 of them out there that are pretty quick to work up. You know, even if I just do that one where it's the you make a granny square and then fold it.
Yes.
That'll work up very fast.
Yes. Yep.
So. But anywho, I just talk about shock. That poor thing. She just can't. I don't know what else she could deal with. You know.
Yes.
Absolutely. And luckily, you know, her daughter's friends they're at the house helping out right now, and you know they were already helping, you know, clean out her daughter's room and, you know, taking loads of stuff to the dump, and they've been doing the yard work for her for the last year or so, and so she's already got some of that stuff in place, but it's a lot. It's still a lot, and when you're sick, and I know that chemo just takes everything out of you.
Yes. And when she's already down and stressed about her daughter, that affects her health as well,
right?
Aside from
yeah, and that's what we just attributed everything to.
Yeah,
you know, and it makes sense. That just makes sense. So
yep.
But I'll find some pretty yarn, and you know, she likes to play with yarn, and maybe she'll get to the point where she's feeling good enough to do that again, and
yeah,
and go from there. But so after my class tomorrow, I told her I'd stop by the hospital again, see what's going on. We're gonna have to figure out what her diet is, and you know, so when we help her with meal prep, that we know what she can have and what she can't have, because I think it's gonna be pretty specialized with the kind of cancer that she's got.
I imagine it would probably be a low carb, so that it doesn't, because your pancreas makes the insulin, and if she can't do that, they'll all sort it out whether she needs insulin injections as well to supplement.
Yeah, they're giving her insulin now in the hospital, and I told her, I says, well, likely that's going to continue. Like, I don't know why they're giving me insulin, because your pancreas isn't working.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm sure
which could be seen in her weight loss, even if she was eating. That would be like a type 1 diabetes situation where she's not making insulin but can eat anything and still lose weight.
Yep.
Yes, it's good that she has friends around, because this isn't going to be an easy journey, but it's always easier if you have friends around. And like Linda said, there are people out here who will be praying for her. So
yeah,
yes,
that'll help. That will help. But yeah, I've got some real pretty cotton yarn. I just found, I was looking for something in the other room today, and I ran across some real pretty cotton yarn. I thought, oh, that'd be beautiful. It's a nice bright color, and you know, cotton will wash up so easily. That'll work up nicely. So.
And cotton is something that I don't use. I think I have maybe 4 little cakes, maybe 2 or 4 little cakes that I've had for years. I just don't use it. I never think to use it.
Well, when I I was making chemo caps, and that was one of the things they suggested was this specific cotton because it's so soft.
Yeah.
And oh God, that'll be another thing.
But I think a lot of the acrylics these days are a lot softer than cotton can be at a cheaper price than cotton. And I find cotton, unless it's really, really thin, it's just too hot. Like anything that you make, a top-wise, if you can make a top, is too hot for our summer, but not warm enough for winter unless you made, or even with the jumper. And I find cotton quite heavy. So if you made a jumper with hot cotton, it would be a heavy jumper.
It would be very heavy. This is 2 weight. So, and just for slippers, I think it'll be fine.
Oh, for slippers, yes, yeah. But for me, I tend not to.
Because your guys' atmosphere just isn't right for that kind of thing. You just don't have the severe highs and cold. They're talking that this winter, they're telling us we're going to have super bad winter, severe cold. And didn't you say up to 4 feet of snow?
Oh, goodness.
Possibly up to 4 feet of snow throughout the course of this winter.
We had this.
So
we've had as much as 4 feet with the same type of system.
With the same type of system that's coming through, we could have as much as 4 feet of snow. So.
And here's me thinking it's a bad winter when our maximum temperature for the day was 50 for about 4 days in a row, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like, that's freezing.
We're still at 68 right now.
Oh, no.
Hard. The last few days have just been. We even had the door open at the shop yesterday. It was so lovely. Usually I shut it because of the noise from the street. But it was evening, and there wasn't as much traffic, and it was just so lovely outside. I just opened that door, and we really enjoyed it.
Well, we're ranging from the high 90s down to the mid 70s during the day, and probably around the 60s at night. So it's going. The temperatures are going up, but they're staying up. So we know that we're coming into summer now in a month. So we're mid spring at the moment. So the nights are cooler, but the days are getting warmer.
Oh, and it's at 5 at night. It's already just starting to get a little dusky, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be. Well, see, that's another problem I have. Come 4 o'clock when it's dark, I can't be out driving.
Yes, we have elections, government elections coming up this year, much like you guys, state and I think federal's next year. But to help, now this isn't a bribe or anything to get you to vote for the government, but they're giving everyone in Australia, regardless of your income, $1,000 off your electricity bills.
Oh, that would be nice.
Which is nice. So the last bill that we got, we paid zero. We paid nothing. Wow. And so we're thinking coming into summer, that's going to be quite nice. Thank you very much, government, but you haven't bought my vote because it's too late.
I'll take your bribe, but
so the last week or so, we're not sure if it's the operation, but Steve's been feeling a little bit hotter than normal. So he'll go, I'm just putting the air conditioner on for a few hours, which we normally wouldn't do. At that temperature. We wait till it gets up to about 35 degrees Celsius before we do that. And so we're going, yep, thank you very much, federal government. And the state government are doing a separate thing as well.
We never did anything like that. Boy, and our electric bill, I'll tell you what, it gets ugly. It gets ugly. Yeah. I need to make a bonus payment on mine just to try to get ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
We usually have like 1 month in the fall, like right about now, and it's more like September, but it was so hot in September. We were still running the air conditioner until 2 weeks ago. And then we usually have about April, maybe May, where we don't have to have the heat. We don't have to have the AC. And that gives me a chance to catch up on my heat bill. But we didn't have that this year because it went straight from, we literally went from snow to 90 degrees in a matter of a week and a half. And then we're, again, the same thing. We had the AC running just 2 weeks ago. And right now we have to have the heat on at night. It's cold at night, but in the daytime it isn't running. So it won't be too bad.
Yes.
For this month. But come next, we'll have heat on 24 hours a day. And it'll be down in probably in the 30s the majority of the month, day and night. Maybe 40s in the daytime, but 30s and 40s.
We get down to 30s at night in winter, but not that often. But 40 is probably the average. But we just put more clothes on, so we don't use any heating in winter, and we save our pennies for having the air conditioner on in summer. So yes, we see a big difference between our winter and our summer bills. And I mean, even in summer, we'll turn the hot water system off for about 3 days, and it's still warm enough to have a shower after the third day.
Really?
And then we'll turn it back on again to get the heat up, turn it off again. And we found that saves a bit too.
Huh.
Yeah.
So Amy still has 70s and 80s, but nights are dropping into the high 40s. And it's 58 for Linda. She's in Georgia. Denise is in California. She's got the 80s. Yeah, Alabama doesn't get much snow.
No.
Where my daughter lives, they get a snowflake and everything shuts down.
Yes, we'd be like that too. Oh, got to put the snow tires on. Who's got snow tires? Where do you get snow tires? I don't know. Chains?
Yeah.
He'd be taking the chains off the dog's collars and that, putting on your tires. No, we only get frost here. And that's probably about 4 times during winter. You might get a good frost. 5 if it's a severe winter.
Well, and I've got better tires this year than I did last year, so I think I'm gonna get around much better than I did last year. So that's good. We've got this terrible hill where I am, and it's but we get the slightest bit of frost and they close the roads up here. So I'm very excited.
With not being able for you not liking to drive at night, is that because of the glare?
I can't see. I can't see it. Yeah, I get the starburst vision. And so like when I'm driving home from the college, I've got my route figured where I can go from the college to this main road and go all the way straight up this main road. And it's well lit, and it's the oncoming traffic that gets me. And there's usually only 1 or 2 spots where it's either not lit well or I get the traffic coming at me. And so I can find my way home in the dark. But there have been times where I've told Mister, I'm not getting out till 10 o'clock. Why don't you drive me to work and come get me? And he doesn't mind. He can see fine at night. He doesn't mind doing, or if it's bad weather, we'll set that up too. Morgan will take me to work, of course she was working the opposite shift now. So, but she could come and she could take me to work, and then he could come and pick me up.
Sometimes I'll wear my sunglasses at night to stop the star if I'm driving in the city, because there's just so many headlights, and they all seem to be LED lights these days that shine into next week. And I find that the sunglasses help.
I've heard that those yellow ones help too. Starburst. Yes, I might look into a pair of those.
Yeah. When I was driving Steve to the hospital at night, there was one section of road that we use during the day quite often, but at nighttime, and it's in the next town over, it's pitch black. There's this one section of road, and it's in the town. It's pitch black. You had to put your high beams on, which you're not allowed to do in a built-up area, but there's no way that you could see. It was just like it was a black hole, just absolutely no light at all, even though on the other side of the road there was a street light. It's one of those fog ones that are yellowy colour. Because of the trees, none of that light was getting to the road on the side that we were, and we said never ever come this way again. Well, instead of taking the back way, we'll go through the main street. It was just really weird. I've not experienced that before, just such darkness when you can see lights and they're not reaching there. So that was interesting.
It's nice. We've got, when I'm driving home from the college, it's like the first half of it is business areas, so all the businesses are closed, so it's not a lot of traffic there. And then the second half is still main roads, but it's almost through residential, so there's no traffic there. It's really it's a good way to get there. I get there and back going. It's kind of a back way, but it's still everything's main roads. The one time I got lost, I turned too soon. And it was, I mean, we'd been here about a year, and I don't remember where I was coming home from. I was coming home from my grandson's house. So it wasn't a route that I normally take. And I thought, oh, this is the road I turn on. Cause the road was familiar, but it wasn't where I was supposed to turn. And so I ended up like in the middle of a neighborhood and I can't see the signs. And I panicked. And finally I thought, oh, I can do the GPS. So I did the GPS and it got me home. But, and I was literally only 2 blocks. I had turned 2 blocks early is all it ended up being. But in the pitch black of night, I couldn't tell. And then like there's a corner by our house where there's no streetlights. So there's 2 roads into our development. And the one, if I come up this road, it's literally, I come off of the main road and we're the first house. But if I'm coming off the other direction and I come down that road, it's pretty dark. And then there's no street light at all on the corner where I turn. And many times I have missed that corner just because I literally can't see there. I literally cannot see where I'm supposed to be turning. So I end up back on the main road, right back here by my house. So, but yeah, I drive it all at night when I have, it's not just a straight shot for me to get from point A to point B. And the other day, well, not the other day, about a month or so ago, we had driven over to Coeur d'Alene, which is, I don't know, an hour's drive from here, to go see a friend of mine play. And my grands met me over there and we had a torrential rainstorm. And then because Morgan was going to go with me and Mr. was going to go with me. And so it didn't even occur to me, I'm going to, it's going to be dark when I drive home. Well, Mr. was sick. And then Morgan ended up with, she got a better offer.
Okay.
So her and the boy went somewhere. And so I, get in my car and I bebop over there and no problem. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't drive home on the freeway. There's no way I can drive home on the freeway after the pouring rain and the roads are slick and, they're wet and you've got that shine of the lights coming off the wet roads. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to drive home. What am I going to do? And so I convinced, hey, Thrifty Crocheter, I convinced my grandson to drive me to the main part of, as if I was leaving his house. So then I could get myself home because I've got a great shot from there to get home. So,
yeah.
But I really have to think ahead for that kind of stuff.
And nighttime and rain.
Yeah, we had a Christmas event over in Coeur d'Alene last year, and it was so fun. And I thought, I'm not going to be able to go because I'm not going to be able to drive over and back. So Morgan drove me over there and back. She drove me over there, waited for me, and drove me back. Nice. And her and the boy had dinner. Yeah, it was so very nice. She's so nice. I thank the gods every day for her. I'll tell you what. I do. Well, guys, I am wore out. And I'm sorry for breaking the party down. I didn't intend to do that. I had no intentions of even talking about that, but it bubbled up. I'm so happy to be done with this. Yes. I'm so happy. So once I find that one stray gray thread and get it tucked in. But thank you guys so much for getting me through this. And I do feel like I can say I am a knitter now, even though I'm not a good knitter.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a baby knitter still, but I feel like I can say I'm a knitter. I feel like I
Yeah.
really accomplished something here. So now I've got the ugliest blanket in the world, and I have the Franken blanket. So I've got two very nice, warm, cozy blankets. And
from the sounds of your weather forecast, you're going to need them both.
Yeah, both of them kicked my butt. This way, meaning it that way, not funny.
Right.
Oh, kick. That's the difference. This is kicked my butt. The other one is a kick in the butt or kick in the pants.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, both blankets kicked my butt. But I have not given up because I am winning with that hat. And I have always said,
the jumper too.
And I'm going to make that sweater. I'm super excited. It's on my list. I worked it into my list. I've always said I think it's ridiculous to knit blankets. Blankets are for crochet. Knit is for smaller things.
I do like to knit cable blankets, although I've only ever knit 3, and I'll be knitting a 4th one soon. But I have made, blankets. I probably knit a dozen or so. There's a chevron pattern one that I'll do occasionally. But crochet, I've probably crocheted 30, 40 blankets.
I didn't even count how many blankets I've crocheted.
No. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I agree. Generally, crochet for blankets.
Yeah. Now, next Sunday, I am going to have something fantastically amazing to show you, which I thought I would have by now, but it did not show up at my doorstep. So I'm wondering if it's sitting at my P.O. box, which I will go check tomorrow.
Oh, I think I know what it is. I do, don't I?
I haven't told anybody yet, so.
I know, but I know.
You do.
Oh, you haven't told anybody?
Well, bits and pieces, but not like I haven't shouted from the rooftops. No. I've showed a few chosen few people. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It is. Yes, next Monday is bingo. And
not tomorrow.
Correct. Not tomorrow. Next Monday.
No, next Monday.
Yes. And so let's plan on, as far as we know, let's plan on next Sunday evening for this.
Yes.
As long as that's okay with you.
And, that's really okay with me. If people don't mind me just sitting here and chatting and not doing much.
Yeah. And possibly I will have worked on that hat some. Possibly not. I do have some sewing I need to get done this week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what my calendar brings, and I know Miss Terry's going to need some help. So we'll see what happens. Okay.
All right.
Monday after next.
Good night, everyone.
Week from tomorrow.
It's not time for you.
Week from tomorrow. Thank you guys ever so much for joining me this evening. I'm so sorry, Thrifty, you just got here. Typically, yes, it's and when I chose these colors, I knew we'd be finishing it at this time of year, so I wanted fall colors. And that's why I picked these colors. Plus, I think I had a thing where these colors were already chosen for me. So I didn't have to. But typically we start at, all right, regular schedule time, 6 o'clock in the evening. And that seems to work out for everybody.
6 o'clock Pacific, isn't it? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, except for you. What time is it for you?
At the moment, it's you start here at 11.
11 in the morning.
11 in the morning. I just have to be careful when you guys go to daylight savings,
which we should be coming off of pretty quick.
Sorry,
did we just do it? Did we just start daylight, or are we?
No, you're going off.
Yeah, we've done it yet.
Okay, so we're going to be doing that. I wonder when that is. Let's look and see. Does somebody know off the top of their head?
15th of November.
Oh, well, see. Oh,
I don't know. I have no idea.
See, I assumed you knew what you were talking about.
Oh, no.
Daylight savings time, 2024.
Just got to say it with confidence and people
you're
believe
close. November 3rd.
Okay. A week away.
November 3rd, we change our clock spring. So if we fall back, so it'll be an hour earlier, so it'll be 10 o'clock your time. Will you be up and beautiful by then?
Potentially. I'll be up. The other part, not so sure. But it's really good because when you schedule the lives, it comes up in my time, so I don't have to convert. So when you, whatever time it is, it'll let me know.
Yep. So I'm going to change the description box, and it won't be 4 miles long. Yep. November 3rd, Amy, officially, according to Dr. Google.
Yeah, 2 weeks, basically. Yep. Not next Sunday, the Sunday after.
Correct. Yeah. So, yeah. It'll mess us up. No, we get an extra hour sleep. So I'll be up at 5 in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Our southern states and, well, the states that practice it, we started daylight savings the beginning of October, I think it was, maybe the 3rd of October. But Queensland, where I am, we don't observe it. It might have been the 6th. Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks, 6th of October. But it doesn't mean anything to us.
Yeah. So now what is daylight savings Arizona? Because they do things differently than we do. They do not observe daylight savings in 2024. So they stay on mountain time. They stay on mountain time.
Were you having a national push to have daylight savings 24/7, 365 days a year?
Well, I don't know if they were going to leave it on or leave it off, but it ain't going to happen. It's a whole big thing to get it changed. And I don't know how Arizona got out of it. But
they never did get in it.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Except for one area. There's one area inside of Arizona that does it. That wouldn't be confusing at all. No, they did do it. They started in 1918, but made the permanent change to standard time in 1968.
Wow, they had it for 50 years before deciding they didn't want it.
Yeah, I don't know how they got around that, but
Hawaii
they got
changed time.
So, anywho, all right, we'll see y'all next
Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Monday.
And I had actually sort of planned on trying my new process to do a video. No, I can't find my phone. It's somewhere in here. It's probably at the bottom. It's either probably at the bottom of my backpack. It's probably at the bottom of my backpack.
We get the same sort of thing, Amy. They'll ask the people, what do you want? And then people will say, no. And they go, well, a lot of people did say yes, so we'll do yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Or we'll survey people. Well, who did you survey? Joe down the street. That was it. He said no, so it's no for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. All righty then, people.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
It was too long between drinks.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.